Andhra Pradesh votes in the assembly elections today. The results are likely to decide an issue that has haunted the state since it was created in 2014. Will Andhra Pradesh get a new capital? The Chandrababu Naidu-led TDP wants the unfinished Amaravati to be its capital. Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy wants it to be Visakhapatnam. In fact, this capital issue has continued to haunt state politics since AP was bifurcated to create Telangana in 2014. And joining me to discuss this, my colleagues Sudha Sadanan, KV Prasad and A. Sai Shekhar. Welcome to the News9 Plus show. Prasad, good to see you after a while.
Thanks, Sandeep. Good to see you too.
What's your take on this? Which capital will it be? Will it be Visakhapatnam or will it be Amaravati? I'm not asking which party is going to win because...
If Chandrababu Naidu gets majority, I'm sure he wants to finish the unfinished task.
Right.
Because he promised in 2014 to build a Singapore-like capital in Amaravati.
Right.
Now that didn't happen. And 5 years later, the political tide changed. And but then finally it went to the courts and it didn't happen. So I think if this election goes through again for YSRCP and he's back in the saddle again, I think he will implement it this time. Remember, Andhra has to build a capital because the last State Reorganization Act gave a 10-year window for the capital to be decided. So, and Hyderabad was to remain joint capital for 10 years. So, of course, we'll see as we go along how it happens.
Yeah, and time is running out, Sudha. June 2nd is the date by which Andhra has to vacate Hyderabad.
Absolutely. Day of reckoning in the sense for India and also for Andhra Pradesh. How long will it remain on borrowed kind of capital? And I think although people are not speaking much about it, but sources, my friends are telling me that for the youth, it's like almost living, out of a suitcase. You do not know where you belong. Is it going to be Amaravati? Is it going to be the three capital issue, which of course the TDP, BJP and Janasena Party, are accusing Jagan Mohan Reddy of saying that it's going to be an administrative nightmare for you to have executive, legislative
three capitals.
Three capitals, he says, much like South Africa, as it were, which is three capital. And what Prasad was saying is very right, because Singapore, like, they had come actually to do the recce, 30,000 or so acres of land given up by the farmers. Farmers thought, my God, here is Chandrababu Naidu is going to create a kind of, a dream project for us. All that came to naught because Jagan said, no, it's going to be three. The point is that this kind of, this or that, it's a major election issue according to me, which people, they're only talking about Kapus, Kamas, Reddy, they're talking about welfare schemes, the Navratnas, which Jagan has. But the point is, you can't be rudderless, Sandeep.
You can't be rudderless.
You can't be rudderless. There is no word now, like Prasad said, it's going to be over. So what have they been doing? So this whole bifurcation of United Andhra Pradesh into Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, it has been, on and off. Today, if you look at the streets, I mean, I'm sure Sai Shekhar is much better position. He lives in Hyderabad. A lot of people are traveling to Andhra to vote.
Right, exactly.
You see, so there is a bit of a, I mean, I'm sorry to be using analogy. It's almost like the partition, I mean, from Amritsar to Lahore and back.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very tragic.
I mean, the partition of Andhra Pradesh, Sai Shekhar, the fact that this is probably the first time, Sudha, correct me if I'm wrong, that first time that a state actually lost its capital after partition.
Yeah,
it's normally the other way around. Chhattisgarh breaks away, it gets Raipur. Jharkhand breaks away, it gets Ranchi. And here, Telangana breaks away and it takes away Hyderabad. So where is this thing going to end? And why is this not an issue in the state elections? It's been touched upon by YSR. I mean, Jagan Reddy has been talking about it, saying that, oh, they're going to declare Hyderabad into a union territory. But what's the sense on the ground, Sai Shekhar?
See, Amaravati is a hypothetical city that was non-existent, because actually there is a physical place by name Amaravati, which is one of the Pancharamams where Lord Shiva temple is there. That is about 30 kilometers away from the hypothetical Amaravati, which is a non-existent and a non-starter project.
Right.
But Chandrababu Naidu has been accused of choosing that place to help the people belonging to his caste, because Andhra is completely caste divided.
Right.
And Chandrababu Naidu has taken people on a garden path, and he has shown graphics, and one of the designs that was brought in seemed like an idli stand.
Yes.
And Chandrababu Naidu made it so frivolous that he wanted S.S. Rajamouli, who created Mahishmati in that Bahubali movie.
Yes.
He wanted him to go and negotiate with the Foster and co, who are appointed as the consultants,
design
for
consultants,
the DPR
yes,
for the project.
Right.
And also he negotiated with Ishwaran, who is a minister who is now facing severe corruption charges in Singapore.
Yes.
And he wanted to, and Chandrababu Naidu used to say that, we'll make Amaravati Singapore.
Yes.
And then he used to go to Kazakhstan and he will say, he will make it Kazakhstan. He will
Right.
make it Egypt. He will
Yes.
make Dallas. All these lofty promises he made.
Right.
And finally he dumped the project by building two temporary structures, which are temporary assembly and temporary secretariat.
Right.
This is
Right.
how under Chandrababu Naidu's regime, the capital was mired in controversy.
Yes, absolutely.
And after Jagan Reddy has taken over, he has raised a big bogey about this. And he went on complaining against his judges also, who got some lands in that project.
Yes.
And made a big ruckus about it, and he invited a lot of trouble because of that. Whatever it is, he has not started that project. On the other hand, he wanted to convert Visakhapatnam into a capital city for
Executive
the simple
capital,
reason that
yes,
Visakhapatnam has a social infrastructure.
Right.
Any capital city should be a city.
Yes.
And had Chandrababu Naidu chosen Vijayawada or Guntur as capital cities,
Right.
this would not have been a problem, because
Right.
there were existing cities and there was scope for expansion or development.
Rather than a completely greenfield capital.
Once again, I would like to submit to you
Yes,
one thing.
yes.
Why Jagan Mohan Reddy is hell-bent on Visakhapatnam is, Visakhapatnam is one city which has the potential to compete with something like a Hyderabad or a Bangalore
Yes.
or Chennai in next 50 years to come at least.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, Andhra would go like an orphan.
Yes.
That is why, and then now put it is a poll plank also, as Sudha was pointing it out. And today's election voting pattern, and for June 4th result,
Right.
would decide on which place is the Andhra capital. Because
Yeah,
Jagan
June
has already
4th,
promised that
absolutely. The
he will
June
be
4th
sworn in
result
in
will.
Visakhapatnam.
Yes, June 4th will decide where the capital is going to be. I think this is probably the first Indian election which will decide the fate of a capital city.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now the opposition is also accusing,
Yes.
amongst other things, of saying Jagan Mohan Reddy has been dangling a carrot.
Yes.
Now the thing is, it's almost blackmail. They allege,
Right.
to say that, listen, you accept this, because there have been a lot of protests. We've
Yeah.
seen throughout two, three years before, there were lots of padayatras,
Yes.
marches by these farmers.
Farmers,
You
yeah.
feel almost cheated that I gave this up. And for
And
what?
yeah, there's nothing. It's
Nothing's
a mirage.
come out of it.
It's a
Yeah,
mirage.
absolutely.
Amravati is just
Yes.
an unfinished dream. But Prasad, in case Chandrababu Naidu does win the elections in Andhra Pradesh, the assembly elections, where is he going to get the money to complete Amravati? It's a hugely expensive project. I mean, it's estimated at what, 1 lakh crore? Where is he going to find the money? Will he, depend on the centre to bail him out, as he's done in the past when he was an ally with the NDA under
But I
Prime
wonder
Minister
if it's going to
Vajpayee?
be easy now.
Yeah, now with Prime Minister Modi, is it going to be the same equation? Because he cannot complete this city without central backing.
No, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me right, I think it was part of the Organization Act that there was a component to allow Andhra to build a new capital.
Yes,
Right? So
right.
there was some financial application. I'm not very sure. It's 10-year-old. I don't remember the exact
Right.
thing, number one. So number two, Chandrababu Naidu experimented with something very unique at that point of time, very called land pooling.
Yes.
Something which also got into a bit of a controversy, because the ownership pattern was different. They didn't say outrightly buy lands from people who actually own those lands.
Right.
So they did some kind of a thing, which again the farmers' agitation also picked up on that
Yes.
count because of the change of land. On the question of what happens after June 2, I visualize two scenarios.
Yes.
Because June 4th is election, so June
Yes.
2, the centre can very well bring about an ordinance to extend the period
Yes.
till a new government comes. And in any case, a new government, even whether it's old Chandrababu Naidu wins or Jagan Reddy wins,
Yes.
they will come to build a new capital. It's not going to happen overnight. Even
Yes.
moving to Vizag, Visakhapatnam, with better infrastructure certainly, but
Right.
it needs a secretariat, needs other paraphernalia.
Yes.
So that's going to take time. So I think that it's a more of a technicality. how it happens. And as I think Sudha pointed out, it became a election bogey that Hyderabad will become a UT.
Yes.
I think K.T. Ramarao probably, they also talked about it. So I think it was more of a very up in the air, but not the definiteness in that aspect.
Right, but Sudha, that seems to be most likely what Prasad mentioned, the fact that the government would actually extend the June 2nd deadline, because there's no way that, Andhra Pradesh can be booted out of Hyderabad.
Yeah, but Sandeep, we've seen the centre and the states, actually clashing on many issues.
Yes.
We've seen Karnataka government doing a dharna at Jantar Mantar.
Yes.
Stalin has also said now the BJP is in alliance with the TDP and the Janasena. I'm not saying that the centre will not do due diligence, but I think it's touch and go. So we'll have to wait. But imagine what the youth and others are going through. Imagine asking you, what's your state's capital? It's not Tirunandapuram, it's something else. And for me, it's not Chennai, it is like maybe Basti in UP. I mean, what do I do? This is ridiculous. And
this is ridiculous indeed,
and sad for the young
and
people.
it's tragic, sad for the young people. And as you put it so poignantly, Sudha, it's like living out of a suitcase. So, Vizag versus Amaravati, what is it going to be? We're going to know only on the 2nd of June. My mistake. We're only going to know on the 4th of June when results to the Andhra Pradesh Assembly are decided. We are going to see which party is going to win, and based on that, we will know which is going to be the state, what's the state capital of Andhra Pradesh going to be. It's a very unfortunate turn of events, but that's the way it is. Indian politics over state capitals. But thank you very much, K.V. Prasad and Sai Shekhar, for joining us this evening, and my colleague Sudha Sadanand here in the studio at News9 Plus.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.